We're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. Today we're looking at, I think, everyone's most beloved and favorite composer for piano, Frédéric Chopin. Of course, some people love Bach and Rachmaninoff too more, and that's okay. We're looking at Nocturne in C minor, Opus 48, number 1. And that's it. If you're joining the stream, say hi in the chat. Let's have a look at this piece, okay? I'm not going to play the entire thing for you. I think we'll just dive right into it. But I will at least play for you the first part. And maybe before doing that, let's talk a little bit about tempo, because that's going to be really important in here. I think a lot of people play this nocturne a little too slow, a little on the slow side, which is kind of problematic when you get to this poco più lento section. How is this supposed to be slower than what we had before if we're so slow, right? So we're going to talk about that, you know. It's maybe personal, but I think this... It's just too heavy. It's really heavy. So... I would recommend, by the way, listening to this recording by Arthur Rubinstein. And he plays it something more like this, and I think that's great. See, just a little bit more of a walking tempo, just a little bit more. In French, we say plus allant, like it's going somewhere. It gives you actually the space to do more rubato, so that's really helpful. Hi, Bill. Hi, Piano Man. Hi, Graham. So here we have it, right? Okay, I'll play you the first part, or somewhere around that tempo, and I encourage you to listen to that recording by Rubinstein. I think it's a good reference, all right? So here we go. Finishes the first section, and now we can go slower here. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that works a little better. We might be a little laggy today, guys. I don't know why. We have a little bit of a lower stream rate sometimes, so there might be some buffering. Hi, Yagami. So, okay, so that gives a little idea here, all right? So our messed up fingering here. Couple of ways of doing that. All right, so here's the general idea of this nocturne is, you know, not too heavy. Keep it simple. music speak for itself. And you have a little bit of space to stretch if you take a slightly faster tempo. Hi, Wayne. So if you play this really slow, now try doing rubato. Doesn't feel right? So that should help. All right. How's that stream coming in for you guys here? I think we have some buffering. So just let me know how the stream is coming through. Let me know how the audio is as well. All right. Now, okay, let's look at this. So very simple, we said. Also, don't forget Chopin in a way is kind of, he's closer to classical period than a lot of other romantic composers like Brahms or Liszt even, or everyone else. So he's not so far from classical. So there's no need to make his music sound kind of like Russian music, While the Russians did inspire themselves from Chopin, his sound, we find that we call this a lean sound or a fat sound. When it's fat, the notes they take more space. Small value notes take lots of space. For example, if this is fat, that's more of a fat kind of sound, right? That's kind of like a Russian sound, right? So we make the difference between that fat sound and something lean on the other side would be like this. And then maybe a little fat here at the end. Just a little bit of rubato so we can slow down there. Very good. You're learning both number 1 and 2 from Opus 48, Wayne. Great, awesome. Yeah, those are, which is number 2? I said number 3. I just love that one. Yeah, number 2. Is it number 3? I love number 3. Oh no, there is no number 3 in this one. I'm thinking about the Opus number before this one, but yeah, actually, we should add that as well. There's Opus 37, number 1 also. That's really beautiful. We're definitely going to do more nocturnes. Audio good, only some buffering early. All right, okay, that's good. So nocturne means never going to forte piano sound. No, absolutely not. We'll see in this nocturne, right? We're going to get quite loud. Yeah, nocturne means like nocturnal, night, right? So this is music of the night. It's kind of like, romantic in the sense as we think of it, like, nighttime is with the moon and the stars, and it's kind of mysterious. It's dark, right? So you can't see very well, that kind of thing. It's mysterious and exciting. It's very creative, right? So the nocturnes are like that, and some of them, like this one, will actually get very loud. We have several fortissimos coming up in this nocturne. So let's get past the first line here, okay? Now we had this in C minor. Now we go to E flat major. Something a little more hopeful, right? Now, here it's a good idea to, we have a syncopation here, and that's hey, hey, da, 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 maybe a little bit more sound here on the F sharp, so that this comes down. So we have the F and then right? We don't want F and this to sustain here. Oh, hi from Frédéric Chopin. How nice. Right, so almost like Liszt. Liszt is doing this kind of thing in Hungarian Rhapsodies. Right, this long note, and then some quick values to finish, you know. If you have the head nod in there, that's good too, right? Now, again, new color. Here we have the dominant of D flat major. That is the Neapolitan, right? There we go. Right, and then we come back. So that's always a very colorful kind of key in relation to our original key. Now, people do this in many different ways. Sometimes on the beat here. I like that. You can also put the top note on the beat. Just do whatever you do, make it sound good, right? Right? You play my saddest piece. That's very funny. He's got, I think, more sad pieces than this one. Okay, so here's another idea here. Instead of going... Why not take this a little louder, so it's a bit more colorful, and then come down to here. Now, I'm not a big fan of this. I think a lot of people do that. Maybe do it sometime, but not all the time. It gets very predictable, right? So again, you know, check out the Rubinstein recording. I think it's a very good reference for this piece. He never does that once. Yadam. Just kind of breaks the mood. All right. So see how we're also stretching the rhythm? It's kind of lean, but we do have our rubato in there. So this is almost a little micro accelerando on that. That sort of thing. And then the values that are fast, so the 16th notes, they're lean, as we said. So we're not taking up too much space with them. You're just kind of going forward with them, unless we're at the end of a sentence or phrase, like, then we take time. Okay, continuing here. Syncopation, answer it in the left hand. So then we have this dissonance. Si, do, re, mi. Again, syncopation here. Answer the syncopation in the left hand. You usually have that whenever you have syncopations. Often it's in the right hand, and then the left hand kind of replies on the beat, right? Where the right hand should have been loud. Hi, Gavrin Mahafri. Hello from Cape Town, South Africa. This is my favorite nocturne. Cool. I think it's a favorite nocturne of a lot of people. All right, so... where are we here? The syncopations, right? If you have small hands, of course you take A flat here in the right hand. And this A flat as well for small hands. Big hands, you don't need to do that. It's better to free up the right hand. So the right hand is free to play the melody. This one maybe, right? There's also a way of doing this. You can even take that A flat if you have small hands with the right hand. Yadam, padam. Again, not yadam. Don't don't do that. Here, now stay soft here. And pedal it the way he says, then we're going to have this, and then just the octave. And then, so the right hand looks the way it is. You have a silence, a quarter note, silence, quarter note. Same thing in the beginning. A little bit more on this one than the first one. We just play the beginning of this nocturne over and over again. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so, all right. I'm curious from you guys, how fast or how slow do you play this nocturne? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious if people play it usually slower than this, if you're used to playing it slower, and if this is a different tempo. Give a little shout out in the chat. Very curious about that. Sorry. Now again, some people play these grace notes. Same thing. So that, you know, that's fine. You can do them, but you can also do them off the beat. I think Chopin, in this case, it feels a little more natural to play them off the beat. So, well, however you do it, make sure the B here, the B natural, is in the same pedal as the E flat. And here's our kind of, seems like our climax, but there isn't even a louder dynamic here, really. You know, we only have 2 bars later, a forte. So you're still in the middle of it. This thing is taking a long time to reach its end. So yes, crescendo. But whatever you do, don't get too loud in this section. A forte here, only one F. Save the really louder stuff for later. Video audio just died on your iPad. I'm skeptic about this stream, guys. It's often I'm having buffering issues here. Don't know why, but just let me know how that is. How to get a strong hand structure. Hi, Zana. Strong hand structure. You mean so the way the hand is, it feels strong? I would say feel as much as possible the way the fingers go into your hand. Like, you know, if you've ever seen a skeleton, fingers are longer than just this. They go all the way into here. So you feel that part of your hand. That might help. You have a stronger hand structure. Can you talk about mazurkas at other lives? Yeah, that would be good. We haven't done mazurkas, absolutely. So yeah, mazurkas are in 3, but unlike the waltzes, the emphasis is either on the 2nd or 3rd beat. Sometimes kind of going back and forth, and Chopin is usually pretty clear in the way he writes it, whether a section has an emphasis on a 2nd beat or a 3rd beat, either with accents or the way it's written. So a lot of beautiful mazurkas. Okay, so yeah, I think that covers our first section. So basically, you know, keep it simple. Don't get too heavy, too slow, and do things like we don't really need that here. And you know, just general stuff. Shape everything, and don't get too loud. You know, bring it to a climax, but a gentle climax, right? This has quite a Chardash feel, I think. It's really interesting you say that, because that's exactly the thing I mean here that Liszt has. And you do have that sort of stuff in Chardash, absolutely. So yeah, good, nice. It does have a little bit of that feel. We could turn this into a Chardash nocturne. All right, so our minor little climax here, the first of many, only one F. Change the thumb for a 5. now poco più lento. 2. So if you took that speed from the beginning, it should be natural to do this section a little slower. But of course, if you play it too slow, impossible to do that slower. Impossible. Like not falling down hands. You mean like falling down like this? Is that what you mean? Well, definitely that would help if you're feeling inside the hands so that you have this kind of thing here and not like... some people have this problem. They play like this, right? I think we've talked about this before, Xana. It might have been like last year or something, but having this kind of thing here. The knuckles shouldn't be lower than this part of the fingers, so that is a problem. So yeah, I think if you feel the entire length of the fingers, you know, by the entire length again, I mean that it's not just this, the finger. The finger's going all the way into here, right? So that's very important, okay? Wanted to hear about playing the octaves in that section, but can't get the audio video. I don't know, maybe reset it, Bill, because I think it's working for everyone else. Timothy, hi Timothy, why do you keep the piano lid closed when you're doing something soft like this? Well, mostly I keep the piano lid closed right now because there's so many books on top of it. Whenever I have to open it, I have to change everything. So this room is big enough to actually open the lid, but it always sounds a little bit loud. I like to move the stand back. It makes a huge difference. You know, it doesn't have to be that far back. This one moves pretty far. But if you have a couple of inches right here, that does make a big difference in sound versus having this like this, at least for where you're sitting, you know. So, yeah, for the most part, I just keep the lid closed because I can put all my junk on it, you know. Hi, Elijah. It would be nice to cover Debussy's lesser-known pieces because they're absolutely lovely, such as his Ballade and Vêtements du Blesse. There's a lot of beautiful pieces by Debussy. I would actually like to look at the Reflet dans l'eau. That would be really cool. Absolutely. Okay, Ballade and Vêtements du Blesse. Don't know that one. I have to check that out. The key change is sublime. Yeah, absolutely. So many of those here. And we have that Napolitan come back. D flat major. All right, let's go to this poco più lento section here. 2, 3. Almost feels like a funeral march of sorts. So here, you can do that. Instead of, you go 2, 3. It's not a bad idea when you have slow things like this also. You conduct with your hand to feel the beats where you don't play. For example, 1, 2. You see that? 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, next part. Now we start to have big chords, right? 2. The challenge here is not having this. Right? Playing that so late. So work on this. Where we start from here. You can also do this. 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. The other thing is, if you roll like this, one hand after the next, whatever you do, this is going to be late. So it breaks up the line E, G, C, E, and then your G comes too late, right? So roll them at the same time. Sotto voce, so definitely use the left pedal in this section, right? Hi, Shevin. There's high ceilings in this piece, make it sound better. High ceilings, you mean in a room? makes everything sound better, right? So if you play in a in wherever you play, the higher the ceiling, it's usually better. I mean, if you go in a cathedral, usually it's a little too high, yeah? So you have that problem where it becomes so resonant. But there's a sweet spot. Definitely love the high ceilings. Sound makes better for not just pianists, but pretty much anyone. Singers, violinists. We love high ceilings. Trumpetists as well. They like that. It's amazing. Trumpet in a big hall. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See, it's possible to do that in tempo. Just practice. So that comes in time. Isn't that cool? There's one spot here where there's a little rest, a little 16th rest, right? So do that 16th rest. It's very short, right? Don't make a big deal of it. Don't make this one shorter, right? Let's see. Let's count this in 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, stay soft here. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay soft again. 2, 3, 4, 1. Always using that left pedal in this section. 1, 2. All right, now we're getting into where it's going to start to get loud, right? So 1, 2. We're still pianissimo. Right. 2. Crescendo. So the challenge is in this is getting in time E1 and 2. So this. That's a bit of a challenge, right? So we don't have too much. We want to keep it flowing, right? Keep the pulse. Have a strong pulse since the beginning of this section, right? Jin Chas interpretation. No, I haven't heard it. I've been learning the Heroic Polonaise. Awesome. Yeah, we're going to do a live on the Heroic Polonaise, by the way. Keep on checking the schedule because some things are going to change in the next week. But we're definitely going to throw in the Heroic Polonaise in there. So everyone learning that, check out for that. All right. Okay, here we go. So, in time. In time here. Now we have that crescendo. Get the right length of this as well. That's too short, right? 1, 2. Sorry. All right, here's another tricky one. So that's a good thing to practice here. Start the crescendos always a little bit less. So start less. Start less. Start less. Start less again. Again, start less, but always crescendo. Start less again, but now biggest crescendo. There's our first fortissimo. And then octaves, right? Okay. Sometimes also place the second beat. That's going to help. Show us where that second beat is. So we have 2 right there. make sense? That kind of thing. Pa-da-da-dum, pa-da-da-dum. So we know exactly how the rhythm is. It's easier for you and the listener. Of course, we can widen up a little bit there. And now up to here, these have been pretty much in tempo. Sometimes we can get a little bit like that, especially as we get to the end. So a little bit heavier here. Like that. I like to do this. 1, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 2. That's pretty good. All right. Had to find that playing in the darkness makes my performance better. A very, very good point. Maybe because I'm not looking at my hands. Do you agree? I love playing in the dark. I love, you know, I ask my students often to just play something, close your eyes and play it. Yeah, not looking at your hands, it does something. Yeah, either you listen more or I think also, what is it exactly about it? It makes you, you know how a blind person gropes? They'll like feel. It makes you a bit more in contact with, you know, it's like something tactile from you, you know? Actually, it's not from you. Okay, there's information going two ways. Something going from you into the keyboard, but there's also information from the keyboard coming to you. And that's very obvious when you close your eyes and you feel a little bit, right? Where are the keys? Where is C major? Where is A flat major? Now it's very obvious the information that's coming from the keyboard to you. So yeah, playing in the dark is great for that kind of thing, right? How do you get fast octaves? Fast octaves. Well, you know, okay, we talked about this in the Octave Etude by Chopin. Really, you know, like move as little as you need to. You don't want to be playing like this. That makes it very slow. Right? If you really go down on the keys a lot, you can't play octaves fast, or you hurt yourself doing it. I think there might be a lot of misinformation also with this sort of thing. You know, I'm not sure. Like I saw a video of one pianist, I won't mention his name, a very famous pianist, who was saying to play octaves like that. And so ironically, I think a month later, he announced that he had tendinitis. So, you know, that's kind of, it's not funny, but... You just move as much as you need to, but stay very close to the keys. That's helping very much. So, right? Okay. I would love to see your view on it. That is the heroic polonaise, right? Is that what we're talking about? So it would when I start learning this. Yeah, okay. So we're going to have a video on the heroic polonaise in a few weeks, not very long. Just check the schedule a few days from now. It's going to change. Okay, so let's go into the next section. We have this. Let's take a little time in the beginning and then accelerate and take time at the end, right? So a little time at the beginning, time at the end, and faster in the middle. I like this. I just really like that. Or on the A. So I kind of prefer it on the G. Ritenuto. So this is just the kind of ritenuto where we're not dying down, but we're stretching, right? We're expanding. We're getting more like there's a resistance, you know? I like to use the word tension, but I don't want you to think that we should put tension in the arms, right? But there is a tension in the body that helps this kind of thing. So if you have tension in your legs, that's a good place to put it, or in your stomach, right? No one ever got tendinitis of the stomach. So it's a very good place to put tension. You keep this relaxed, and then a little tension in the stomach. You see how easy it is to stretch things? You have that resistance with that tension. And of course, make sure that this is also stretching in a gradual way. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, right? And then more octaves. Okay, so the really fun part here, I think, as far as technique goes, is getting up to this chord here, right? This is just the kind of place where we want the lower body connected, right? So whenever you feel kind of anxious, like you had too much coffee, right, and this is very disconnected, do this kind of exercise, right? Drop the arms, relax everything. Do this, you have the rotation, right? And then do this kind of thing here again, right? Pedal the legs so the feet are off the floor, lengthen the spine, push forward with this, and backwards with the tailbone. That really helps. Then you should be more rested in the keys. That's good, all right? So we need that here because we're gonna go. We want this to be brought from here. I'm sorry, the G here. All right, yeah, we can talk about this one for a while. Maybe I'll do a separate video on it. But the idea here is really rest in the keys, you know, and if you want to be able to play octaves faster, that's really going to help to rest in every key. So you feel there's zero tension. You can attack the note the way it needs to be attacked. Yeah, there's a little tension, but rest in between. Rest. Like that. Every single octave. You attack and rest. Attack and rest, yeah, and rest, right? Especially this one. And yeah. Okay, this, we want that connected to this, right? So we have yeah, and not just this being locked. So that's less interesting than this kind of thing, right? We want that. Okay, this last part, right? Ritenuto here. All right, so this is the most difficult section of this piece, especially because we have to play pianissimo and agitato. And we have all this, really a lot of notes, yeah? So I think really the best way of going about this is find the tempo. Once you've figured out the notes, find the tempo that you can play this the slowest without making mistakes. Or rather, let's say the fastest without making mistakes, but keeping time, exactly keeping time. So you'll add the rubato and the agitato afterwards. Start just by going. Right? When you have that, also, that enables you to practice the balance, which is very tricky here, getting everything really soft, okay? We have like a ginormous crescendo. Actually, we don't even really start to crescendo until like a page later, right? After, then you have crescendo. So for this whole, you know, this next, I'm not sure how many bars that is, 8, 16 bars. We have about 16 bars of pianissimo. with swells. So all of the bass and the inner voices, they're just coloring, right? For the most part, they're pretty soft. You know, what do you think is the most technically difficult part of this piece? I think it's exactly this section. I would say, you know, there's a few things that are technically difficult. Yeah, there's these things, getting these in time or getting these in time. That sort of thing. That's a challenge. There's the octaves, but I think this agitato section, that's the most difficult, is to be able to play this softly, right? And really go with that. When you practice this sort of stuff, play it exactly in rhythm to learn the notes, to get comfortable with it. Add the rubato later. So that way you don't allow yourself to slow down because some part is a little hard. You just play it at a slower tempo, exactly in rhythm. And yes, we're not going to drop the Beethoven 109. I can't wait to do that one. That's glad you guys are looking forward to that. Yeah, absolutely. Love that piece. One of my favorite pieces of all time is that sonata, and of course the G major piano concerto number 4. Freaking love that piece. Yeah, all right. So playing in time. So it sounds something like this. Instead of waiting when you have a problem, you know, something that's hard. Instead of practicing that way, you do something like this. And that tempo you gradually increase, slightly faster as you're comfortable to do it, right? And as you don't have mistakes. If it's uncomfortable, you stay in the slow tempo. Okay, now, yes, you show the B natural. Here's another syncopated note. And another one in the melody. The G and the A flat. Now, you know, we're trying to keep all of the lower notes really soft, the middle notes soft, so we have a bit of melody in this pianissimo with so many notes. But here's one place where you can color it a little. We go in this Neapolitan key again. Check here, a little check, make sure you're still as soft as you can be here. Now we're in the crescendo, right? So we're going to crescendo to fortissimo. When you crescendo, first you have the higher notes, right? Keep the higher notes. As we get louder, now you start to bring out the notes in the middle register a little more. And then when we get to the maximum, that's when the bass notes, you really kick in the bass notes. Then you have a really smooth crescendo, right? So that's what we've had. All up to here, we're pretty much... as soft as possible, all of this stuff. And the melody just a little bit, right? Now, starting here, we start to have a little bit of the... And then we start to have a bit of bass. All the way to the end. See that? And I really recommend also practicing this section minus the melody. Remove the melody. So that's a very, very good idea. All right, so here we go. Now we start to bring out all of these notes in the right hand. Yeah, the other notes below the melody in the right hand, starting here gradually. Now a little bit more left hand. And those bass notes, right? However, maybe we're a little too loud now because fortissimo is still 3 bars away. We're only forte. Sorry about that. This part is a little trickier, yeah. Here's our fortissimo. So here, sustain that fortissimo for a while, right? We have fortissimo, ritenuto with the crescendo. Keep this bass. And that B here, very healthy B, fortissimo. Same thing with the A flat here. Die down. But don't play this A flat like this. That doesn't sound very good, right? So C. Yeah, why does Chopin put staccatos with pedal? Is it because he wants obviously not. The staccatos are just a way of saying that those notes should stick out. We should hear them very well, right? Okay, so the end. I always found it a little strange that Chopin says to remove the pedal. So I always found that this sounds a little naked here. A little slower than that, of course. So what I'd recommend here is remove the bass slowly with the pedal, like slowly lift the pedal, and then put it back a little bit and remove it. Do it like a very slow half pedal tremolo or something. Something like that. So it's not completely without pedal, but it still sounds the way it looks on paper, the way he wrote it. Right? And this, you can always connect 2 notes with the arm. Try to do that everywhere. So a lot of wheel going this way, right? This is, and then we come back to, and then back. A lot of wheel there. Get that wheel right. Right? We're going like this, and back down, and then back here, and then around for the end with a nice diminuendo all the way to the end. Last 3 chords, probably better in this case. Yeah, you can use the left pedal, but I really like to squeeze the belly button into the spine and remove some weight from the instrument that lengthens the spine. And then here we have a 5th now in the left hand. So